How differently would you live your life if you knew the moment you'd lose your memory? How differently would you live your life if you knew the moment you'd lose your memory? If the moments of your life began to disappear, what then is the condition of your identity? You know, I've always looked at life as a building built with the bricks of our experiences. These bricks, these memories, are the structure of our identities. They are what make us relevant to the people we come in contact with. So let me share some of my bricks with you. Now, would you believe it if I told you that my very first play in the NFL was not as a football player? It was as a singer. I was asked to sing the national anthem at my very first preseason football game against the Buffalo Bills. I'm not joking. The Indianapolis Colts introduced me first as a singer instead of a player. But that was just the beginning of a dream. It was February of 2007. There was a cool Miami, Florida mist filling the Dolphins Stadium for Super Bowl 41. It was one of only 2 games in the history of Super Bowls to rain. Over 101 million people tuned in to watch that game. Prince performed at halftime. I'll never forget, I was in the tunnel, and I was about to head out onto the field, and as my cleat landed on that freshly cut Super Bowl grass, I heard a familiar voice behind me shouting my name, "Ben, Ben." I turned, and there was my dad. My dad had worked his way diligently halfway around the stadium to get in this place at this moment. He was hanging over the ledge so much so I thought he was going to fall over. But I ran back to him. And it was this cinematic moment where we looked into each other's eyes with tears, and I reached up and I grabbed his hand. And I said, "Dad, I love you. It all started with you in the backyard playing catch." Shortly after, I was on the sideline, in between Hall of Fame Coach Dungy on my right, future Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning on my left. And I'm watching my all-pro place kicker, Adam Vinatieri, get ready for the kickoff of Super Bowl 41. He'd already won 3 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. And 2 weeks before, he got in front of the team and he prepared us for what we were about to experience. And he said something that stuck. He said, "Men at kickoff, don't blink. Don't you dare blink." Adam was ready. He put his hand in the air. He acknowledged to the referee. The referee blew the whistle. He dropped his hand, and he released the Colts. He planted his foot perfectly on that football, and it went soaring into the upper atmosphere of the stadium. And I knew in that moment why he said, "Don't blink." Because it was the greatest light show you can possibly imagine. I mean, many of us have seen championship games like this, but to be on the 50-yard line when 80,000 flashing lights go off simultaneously is a dream come true. I've often thought to myself, Neil Armstrong would have been jealous to have been in my shoes because it felt like I was amongst the stars. We headed into the third quarter. It was the biggest play of the game for me. One of the biggest third downs. 4 seconds left on the play clock. Peyton Manning leans down to me. He called me Tech. He said, "Tech, I'm coming to you." No pressure. Said, "Hut, the ball is snapped." I release, I jump through the A gap, push forward 5 yards, plant my foot, I turn. The ball had been released, and I kid you not, I can remember the rain coming off the spiral of the football. And I caught it, and I turned. And there, on the first down line, was Hall of Fame middle linebacker, 6'5", 265-pound Brian Urlacher with red eyes. I swear to you, red eyes. And I knew in that moment I had a choice to make, and it was going to hurt. And it did hurt. But I lowered my shoulder, I ran as hard as I could, and I barreled through Brian Urlacher for the first down, which allowed us to put points on the board and take the lead. As I was running off the field like I did in many games, I looked over the bench, and I saw my family, my greatest passion, my strongest brick. I locked eyes with the woman who made me a better man, my wife, Karen. Any other men experience that? They married up? Come on, guys, raise your hands. Karen has blessed me with 4 beautiful daughters. Did y'all hear what I just said? 4 girls. That's 4 weddings. In fact, would the ushers come forward with the donation baskets, because I need all the help. I need all the help that I can get. But in seriousness, why would I share all those stories with you? What are each and every one of those stories to me? Anybody? Memories. They are my memories. They are the bricks that have now made me more relevant to you as an athlete, as a teammate, a singer, a son, a husband, and a father. What happens when some of those bricks begin to crumble? In August of 2009, I regained consciousness on a training camp field, being strapped to a board and rushed to an emergency room. It was my 5th documented concussion, and it was the end of my NFL career. Dream gone, just like that. You know, it's hard to explain to someone what it's like to go through a concussion. I'll do my best. My 4th documented concussion resulted in a diagnosis of amnesia. What had happened on the play against the Denver Broncos is I had released and I had fallen to the turf. There was a defensive lineman running behind me, and as he jumped over me, his cleat clipped the back of my helmet. And you see my head bob down, and then my entire body goes limp. And after about 5 or 10 seconds, I begin to regain consciousness, and I stand up, and I'm high-fiving my teammates. I'm communicating with my teammates. I'm sprinting to the sidelines where I'm having conversations with my coaches, our trainers, and our physicians. And yet I remember none of it. It's as if the play never happened. It's as if the game never happened. I can only tell you that story from what I remember watching on film. And to go into that film room the next day and to sit by myself in the dark, to watch my cognitive abilities working, to watch my body functioning, and yet have no memory of it is a very eerie feeling. But even after those events, I still hadn't connected memory to identity. It wasn't until moving home to Minnesota, the land of memories where everything was in the past, that the truth would reveal itself. My wife and I were sitting across the table from dear friends of ours, a roommate in college, one of my best friends in college, and we began sharing our wedding stories. And as my friends began sharing the memories from their wedding, I began to get frustrated because I couldn't understand why I wasn't at their wedding. And I finally interrupted the conversation and I said, "Hey guys, I know I wasn't in training camp. I know that I could have been there. Why wasn't I at your wedding?" And the mood completely changed. And it became silent. My friend's wife got up from the table, went and grabbed their wedding album and brought it to the table. And page after page, there I was as a groomsman in his wedding, as a singer in their wedding. And no matter how many times I look at those pictures, I can't remember that day. This made me realize for the first time that my memories are my identity. That what makes me relevant as a human being only lives in my memories and the memories of those around me. For what is relevant if you can't remember it? Think about that. What matters if you can't remember it? You know, we're all divinely connected by the miracle of our minds and our memories. Two things that, if we're completely honest with ourselves, we take for granted every single day. But can you imagine what would happen if we allowed the answer to that ominous question lead us down a pathway towards experiencing authentic value and extreme purpose for our lives? You know, there's a great example of this in the movie Dead Poets Society starring Robin Williams. He brings a group of boys to a wall full of pictures from the past. And as they're gazing into the faces of these young boys who have come and gone, he says to them, if you listen closely, they will whisper their legacy to you. Carpe diem. Seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary. But after connecting memory to identity, I realized that it goes much deeper than seizing a day. It becomes seizing every moment. Carpe tempore. Seize every moment in time because they become the bricks that define your significance. They become the bricks that define your significance. You know, we talk about this sometimes through the lens of the present. What does it mean to be present? But how can we objectively define the present when the present is in constant motion moving into the past? Think about this. Every word that I'm saying to you right now in the present immediately goes into the past, right? And it enters the short-term memory of our brain, heading towards the long-term memory where the brain will determine how well the information will be stored to possibly be recalled in the future. Every moment, every choice lives on in relevance only if we can remember it through the miracle of our minds. So now realizing the value that exists in every moment, I began to train my brain and strengthen my cognitive abilities, regaining my brain's capability to build and store memories more efficiently. Seizing every moment, I now ask better questions. I listen more empathetically. I learn more passionately. I choose my language more effectively. I pursue my relationships more passionately, live more courageously, give more generously. And most importantly, I love more radically. How simple and yet profound to believe that our identity, our significance, is not found in the things we have done, but rather it is found in who we are and how we choose to live. If you're willing to accept that as truth today, then I commission you to seize every moment in time and live it to its fullest. Because brick by brick, you are building your true identity. How differently would you live your life if you knew the moment you'd lose your memory? Right here. Carpe tempore. Carpe tempore. Seize every moment and make your lives extraordinary. Memory is legacy. Thank you very much.
Ben Utecht, everybody.
Hey.
Ben Utecht. Wow.
Hi.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now,
Thanks.
thank you.
right.
Now, normally, Eva and I do a song
Exactly.
at this point.
Well,
but-
you guys are singers too.
We're singers,
well, we
yeah.
broke out. We've
Yeah,
been
we-
working on a
we
little
do,
something.
yeah.
Oh,
actually.
that's interesting.
But, would you be willing to do something?
Yeah.
Maybe?
You could be like background for us.
You want me to
know?
sing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if
Nobody wants to hear a football. You want to hear a football?
Sure.
you guys sing,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, yeah, we'll be up front.
I mean, do you have anything?
You'll be in the back.
Yeah.
Because you're tall, so
I
you
don't.
can see over us.
It's not like I have a song prepared at all.
All right. I mean, we can just take it from you.
Get off my carpet! Get off. No, I have this here. This song represents every athlete's perfect dream. There are two men out, and it's in the ninth, and the score is 4-3. There's a man on first, and a man at bat, and the man at bat is me. And I'm sorta scared, and I'm sorta proud, and I'm stronger than I see. And I take a swing, and my dad is there, and it's what you'd call a dream. For the ball flies in the sun, and it sails on as I run. The crowd is roaring, cheering as I go. So are all the guys on the team. And I run for home. We win the game. It's what you call a dream. And the sun shines like diamonds. And the sun shines like diamonds. And the sun high, the baseball sky shines like diamonds. And the sun shines like. I was just a boy playing catch with Dad in a backyard full of dreams. Then one came true when we beat the Bears and became the greatest team. It's what you'd call a dream. Thank you, everyone.